could be quite
All right. Lackluster launch. We'll just.
I love it. Uh-huh.
We got.
I forgot the transition. Sorry about that. We're good now. We're good now. We had a little B-roll footage in the background for you beforehand. That's a little sneak peek. What? Like I said, relax. It'll all come to you when I hit the transition. It'll happen. It'll happen. It's gonna happen. It'll happen. Okay. So the first thing on our agenda is going to be Google Stadia, and if anybody hasn't seen, Google Stadia launched. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago.
It was. I don't know when. I kind of know it was within the last 48 hours. But
Oh, okay. So apparently it was yesterday.
does anybody out there have a Stadia? Like, comment on
Or
if
was
it's any good.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Okay, so it's 1 a.m. So technically we're gonna say yesterday, as in the 18th. All right. So it was 1 day ago.
It came out on Monday.
It launched with 12 games that you have to buy separately. That don't run.
Yeah. Okay, so we can dive right into the Stadia topic if you guys would like to. Do you have any opening regards? Any opening remarks to get
I just shake my head. I don't understand what they were thinking.
I'm not happy with 12 games that are old. Wait, I think there's one exclusive that might be new. I don't know if it released yet. I gotta get my facts on my phone, but just
well, yeah. Why don't you
underwhelming.
look up the release the launch titles,
Right.
right? Look up launch titles, Stadia launch title.
Just to say it's underwhelming would be like
Yeah, to say. It's underwhelming would definitely be an understatement. Yeah.
Alright, I have the 12 games.
The 12 games are
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Attack on Titan Final Battle 2, Destiny 2, the collection available in Stadia Pro. Oh yeah, Stadia Pro. Don't forget about Stadia Pro later.
Oh jeez.
Farming Simulator 2019, Final Fantasy 15, Football Manager 2020, Grid 2019, Guilt, Just Dance 2020, Kine, Metro, Exodus, Mortal Kombat 11, NBA 2K20, Rage 2, Rise of Tomb Raider. Well, there's more games here. I'm not sure. I know there's 12 to launch.
Yeah, I think it was gonna have 22. So.
But that's
There
garbage.
is 22 here. Yeah, you're right.
I got like 300 games on my Xbox.
It's been a while. It's been a long, while, and a lot of those are Xbox 360 titles.
I'm
Not all of
surprised
them, but
they don't have a gaming pass service like the rest of competitors. PS5, PS4, Xbox One. You have the X Cloud.
The xCloud is gonna be good. I think like that's the xCloud is why everybody's trying to go this handheld mobile route.
I see as the X Cloud being a major competitor to Stadia.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like the xCloud is going to be the nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Definitely.
In the xCloud. I mean, aside from this launch, which is, let's just say, it's probably a bit of a far cry from what the company had hoped for its launch. I'm certain that they didn't expect it to be Nintendo Wii launch numbers, right? Like, I'm sure they didn't expect that. If they did, maybe this is a wake-up call for them.
It seems like they didn't do their research. They should have launched with newer games, or more exclusives. Or that's what really got me into like any of the game systems. Sega, Sonic, Nintendo, Mario. PlayStation would be like Final Fantasy. Like these are things that you think of whenever you think of those systems. You think
Like,
of Stadia.
those are like keystone or benchmark titles for
right.
not only the consoles but for the brand.
Yeah, the brand itself. Now, whenever you think of Stadia,
But because they became synonymous with the name itself, right? Like Sega itself became synonymous with Sonic,
yeah,
right?
He was in a lot of their advertising, and he was like Mario's competitor.
Or I should have said that the other way around, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Dumpster fire.
I know, like, there's nothing to grip you in. Like, what is there that I want to play that I haven't already played?
Yeah. Literally. That game Guilt. I think that's their one exclusive.
Oh, what is guilt? What is that all about?
What is it? That's
What
the question.
is guilt? Let's look that up.
Console can't handle 4K.
GYLT. GYLT.
Oh,
Doesn't produce 4K at all. We have consoles now.
let's not get claimed here.
We got one console that somewhat does 4K.
Their
and
video
one
doesn't even work
console
right.
That does do 4K. And then we have PCs that do 4K. So where can Stadia compete where they can't even do 4K? And then in a year, we have consoles out that might honestly be able to do 8K.
Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities. I'm really excited to see where VR is going to go, kind of.
Now, that being said, Google did have claims that they would like to, in the future, be able to provide 8K and a slew of other features. However, there were many claims that they said would be delivered on day one that were not delivered, right?
Including friend codes.
Including friend codes, but not even not even limited to just friend codes or even anything outside of the unit itself. Sometimes you don't even get the unit on time.
Yeah.
Apparently, people are having trouble getting their units. Some people are having trouble getting their special reserved name plates. So they're charging people $130 for this Founders Edition, right? And they're advertising that you could reserve a special name, or you reserve your kind of like your gamer tag or whatever you would associate it with, your gamer alias, we'll call it. And it turns out that some people are having trouble not only securing the physical device itself, the controller itself. They're not sending these units out to these people in a timely manner, but they're having trouble securing the name that they are supposedly paid $130 to reserve.
$130 to maybe
yeah. So
name.
pay us $130 and you can reserve you'll get early reserve early access to reserve the alias name of your choice. Only if it isn't already taken, but we'll still take your money.
You'll still take that money.
Thank you for your paycheck.
They're definitely taking the money.
Oh, they're definitely taking the money.
Failure.
And this doesn't even look all that interesting. I would give it a shot, but it would be like one of those play it for an hour or two to play through, try to beat it, and then if it really grips you in, you come back to it. But if it doesn't pull you in an hour, it's gonna be uninstalled. It's gonna be.
I don't know. The game that we just watched a preview of is not a game that would make me want to buy a platform.
No, it does have its points for me. I like the art style.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could find all these type of things.
It looks
in
like a
games
puzzle.
on things
It
that
actually reminds me a lot of Psychonauts.
It does that style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing it has good going for it. I would actually try it. That's why I said I would try it, because it reminds me of Psychonauts. But if it didn't have that style, there's really nothing to.
It's not worth $130.
Right, I'm not buying a console for this game.
And plus, you still have to buy the game. You buy $130, then you have to buy the game.
Right, but also, I mean, any console you have to buy, and then you buy the game, of course. But they're not selling any. They're not selling any bundles. There's no Game Pass service. There's no online rental service they have with their console. You know, so there's no real reason to buy into the console unless you're going to pay more anyway to get a game. Like you said, you know, you got to buy a game right away. So might as well look at it as a $180 investment. Or $190. You might as well be a $200 investment at this point, because you have to buy a controller. I mean, because you have to buy a game.
Then you have to have internet.
Then you have to have internet, right? Of course, because there's no getting around that.
Yeah.
You cannot just buy the controller and hope to play the games that you want. You know, maybe you download them first and then
be able to play them.
Nope,
no,
sorry,
that's not how it works. You have to have the internet. So
yeah.
That's one of the major things that the public changed on the last PlayStation. If you remember, they were like, or was it Xbox? I'm sorry.
I think it was the Xbox. They said it was going to be always online.
Always online. Then they were like, no, we don't want that.
We don't like that.
Nah. Can you change that? Yeah, we better change that.
Yeah, we're going to change that. Oh, so not only are people having lackluster deliveries or lack thereof deliveries of their console, they're not getting the features that they were promised on day one. They're not even able to play their console on day one. They're not even able to save their names that they wanted on day one. It seems that in a review made by The Verge, that the console isn't actually able to service the 4K flagship titles. The servers that Stadia runs off of won't even be able to handle 4K flagship titles. So,
why would you get it?
What is the point?
What's the point?
Honestly, if you're not even, if you're gonna pay, I guess if you're going for a cheap, right? Like this is the cheapest console. But you're not getting 4K, so it's not even like you're going like this is the cheapest way to play 4K. It's the cheapest way for you to get 1080.
Yeah.
And you're not even getting a full selection of games. You might as well just go buy a used console, like a used Xbox.
Much cheaper, better time.
I bought an Xbox for $200, which is the same price as this, and because I had Xbox Live before, I was able to just download all my games with gold that they just give you over time.
So an old Xbox One and an old copy of, say, Assassin's Creed would run you probably around the same.
Yeah.
I personally like physical copies of things. That's one thing that I like. You can grow a collection and you don't really lose it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like, should you not pay for internet, or should you maybe move to a place where you don't have internet as strong or even have great access to internet? this is going to be a horrible investment because you're not going to have access to any of your entertainment that you spend money on. Right?
Seems more of a gimmick. It's too much gimmick.
It seems like they may be ahead of their time. Like, when maybe if 5G rolls around and internet is just the best it's ever been everywhere in the United States, and it doesn't matter where you are,
that's a good
then
point.
I could see this being a viable option, especially at the price point.
That's a good point, but we're not there.
We're not there yet. Sorry. I mean, it's not there yet. And as you can see on screen now, we have The Verge's score or review, overall overview of the review of the Founders Edition. And you can see some of the good stuff is that it works. I mean, if it works, it works. And if you can be satisfied with that really small library of games and the limiting nature of how you have to play, aside from being able to Chromecast it to your television, you know, this might be the choice for you. It's nice. It works. Like you don't have xCloud right now, so you're not going to be able to do that yet, right? When xCloud comes out, it might stomp this. But for now,
have your whole library for Xbox.
But for now, this works for people that have disposable income. It might be an option, right?
It's old games, but it does.
But
have
if it's your favorite game and you've got the money for it,
do it.
Why not? But if you're looking for 4K, or if you're looking for maybe some of the features that they promised you at launch, or if you're looking to play better games than the launch lineup, this is not what you're going to want. Yeah, you're not going to want this.
A silly decision.
It is. It was a silly decision to even release this console this year. I feel like even coming out with this, even delaying it just 1 year.
Yeah, you should have delayed it.
Yeah, I mean, Founders would have been pissed. Don't get me wrong. Founders would have been pissed. They said, but
I don't think it's ready.
Yeah, I think the Founders would have been much more happy in the long run with the product they were given if it actually worked, if it released on time, if the features that they promised on release were there. Right? I don't know. But well, I guess the true tell will be time. We'll see how people, receive this console release in time. I'm not gonna say I'm not getting one. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm not getting one. I won't even consider buying one. But I might, I might see the potential if if somebody wants it. I can't see it. I can't see it. So I have little faith in its succeeding.
Ooh, see, I don't like this picture. Look at this. This is like the worst picture.
Oh yeah, the
controller on a stick.
Controller on a stick
with the phone. I mean, it doesn't even look like sleek. It looks, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I'll buy one.
As a matter of fact, it almost
buy one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan. But that's that for Dumpster Fire Stadia, ladies and gentlemen. It's not looking to be too exciting. They even have a pro version which you can pay for, but why would you? We'll just throw that out there. It doesn't seem worth it because it doesn't feel like it's even worth getting.
You pay $130 for the system, you pay $60 for a game, and then you pay another X amount for Pro.
You guys couldn't line up this shot a little better? Yeah, either way.
Over $200.
Over $200. You're paying $200 for this? It's not worth it to me. For some people, it might. Let us know if you guys planned on getting one and didn't want to get one after you saw what happened. Let us know if you're going to get one. Let us know if you feel like it might be something good.
Does anybody?
Let us know if it's just like you see on screen, a dumpster fire.
Does anybody have one?
Yeah, especially if you have one, reach out to us. Let us know what your thoughts are and how you feel about it.
How it runs and.
Because I know I won't be spending my money on it.
Oh no.
But maybe we should move on to our next topic. Does anybody want to segue into our next topic here?
No segue.
No segue. What do we got?
PlayStation news.
PlayStation. So recently, PlayStation has acquired a patent for cartridges, some sort of cartridge technology. And the internet went wild, as it always does. Speculations flying left and right. Could we see more games returning to cartridges? And it's a possibility. Absolutely, it's a possibility. However, nobody thought that they could be used as memory cards, which is what PlayStation has actually released a quote and possible patent giving away a little more information about the subject. I think today or yesterday. Yeah, so today. Still speaking as if it were before midnight. Turns out that from this website I found here, pocketlint.com, they say that Sony Interactive Entertainment has a patent that appears with a lot more detail and substantiates their original suspicions about, apparently they knew memory cards were coming. But they're going to be used as new storage solutions, housing solid state drives.
I like the idea.
I really like the idea. I'm on board. I absolutely love it. Now, my question is, guys, where are they going? Are they going in the PS5?
I think they're in the PS5.
Or are they going in the controller? Like,
it would eat up
or
the
they
battery.
go in like Dreamcast and Xbox, where you plug that son bitch in there.
I would like to see it in the PS5 actually itself, just because I think it would, eat up battery or
and
whatever.
transmitting that much information wirelessly while you're you might as well just have it plugged right into the console. Hey, throw the idea out there. Thought it would be interesting because they have another patent that came out for one of the controllers claimed to be the DualShock 5.
Now, I heard about this. It feels different depending on what happens.
It says to have adaptive triggers.
Yeah.
So now, what I remember reading from a PlayStation developer, or was it a PlayStation executive? Either one. They stated that they wanted to have better vibration technology with haptic feedback as opposed to what we are used to as the vibration, normal like I'm not even sure of like weight counterweight vibration that we use.
Right,
it's very primitive technology
to shake the controller.
Right, yeah,
right.
It just shakes the controller, and it's hard to control the feeling of it. So apparently, they want to expand the way that the vibrations feel in terms of like with haptic feedback. They said that they can make it feel much more. They can have a much more dynamic range of vibration and motion, right? So
I get that.
They said that you could feel something as subtle as, brushing by some blades of grasses or whatever. But another thing, back to the adaptive triggers, was the technology that they were talking about to include that haptic feedback in the feedback of your triggers themselves. So what they would do is they would give you, and they also said that they could increase or decrease the tension of how hard it how hard or soft it is to pull the actual trigger itself. So theoretically, they could say, if it's a game about shooting arrows and pulling your bow, pulling the arrow back, pulling the drawstring, right? As you pull it down, it will become more and more difficult or strenuous to pull the trigger all the way down.
Keep it down.
Right, and then maybe it'll start shaking as you hold it all the way down, right, on the one side. So like your left side of your controller would be fine, the right side would be like, kind of like.
You
need
to release it.
Yeah, and so I mean, I'm really excited to see what they do with it. It sounds like a really fun way to, bring more immersion to the feel of the game, right? As opposed to just like what you see visually and fidelity.
Right.
You know, because those little subtle things can actually really lend to the experience that you have, especially in VR. I mean, that's kind of where I've seen it most.
That would definitely work in VR. That would be crazy in VR.
So, and you know, Sony is a big proponent of their own PlayStation VR thing. So, if they're putting it in the controller, you better believe they're going to come out with new PlayStation controllers for the VR, new PlayStation VR controllers that have this feedback, so that whenever you're pulling the drawstring, your shit'll be whoa, 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 whoa. That would be really cool.
Quick question: what kind of controller is a Nintendo? You know how it's real subtle, and you can roll a marble in it. You ever have the game where you can feel like the marble?
Oh no!
You're rolling it.
No, that's
like
cool.
a little mini game. I'll show you it later. Anyway.
Yeah, that sounds actually really awesome. I wonder if they use haptic feedback as well to provide that experience. I'm sure they would. So, I guess that's the information that we have on PS5. We'll keep our eyes peeled and let you guys know if we find out any more information. There was an idea that maybe they were going to come out with a handheld console version of like the next PS Vita, kind of, right? And that's kind of where the speculation kind of started with the whole game cartridges.
There's also rumors of maybe just a handheld edition, like a Switch.
Yeah,
wouldn't be bad. Kind of like take
like
your
a
games
companion.
on the go.
A companion console would be nice, right? Like sort of how Xbox allows you to stream anywhere, right? Like maybe PS5 will allow you to stream to the PS5.
This is going to be the streaming
portable
volume 2. First
the P5P, right? Who knows?
So, you know, in the next coming weeks and months, we're going to keep finding more info and drops on not just PlayStation, but also Xbox. Unfortunately, right now, we don't have any concrete information on Scarlet right now, but Mr. Jiggyfly had happened to find out that a very popular series is having some type of new addition to its series, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And that, my friends, is more about the VR. That's a good segue, was from the VR, but also into the PC news. We're talking about Valve announcing today the new Half-Life Alyx. They said, I think it was yesterday, actually. Either way. Yep, yesterday. Anyway, the new VR game that's titled Alyx is supposedly its own story within the Half-Life universe. It's going to hold its own mysteries for us to explore.
But
what I'm kind of excited about is the fact that it's a Half-Life game being made by Valve.
Yeah.
So first, let me just say, it's been a long time since Valve announced a game. Other than their stupid Relic game. Sorry, I don't count that. Card game bullshit. Anyway, so that I'm excited about. I'm excited that their developers are in there actually working hard on making something tangible.
You think this will lead to a Half-Life 3?
That's what I was going to say. I believe that if we have enough support, if the community reaches out and they grab hold of this and they run with it, and Valve sees this, they definitely could be inspired to make their very first third installment of any series, and rightfully so, back to the origins
with Half-Life.
Half-Life.
Now, one thing I just thought in my brain right now. Say that things got sparked and they wanted to do a third Half-Life. What if Stadia, out of desperation that they are, garbage, as we've been showing the whole time, they're a dumpster fire, just sitting there in the corner. What if they approached Valve and was like, we need you.
They would have to make an exclusive.
I want your game to be exclusive. People want you so bad, and we need you to be exclusive.
That wouldn't be right. That would be like, would it be exclusive for like a year or just straight up exclusive?
I think Valve would be like, I'm not sure.
I would hope they would say no.
But I think that the fan base love that game so much, and that they've been so desperate for a third one, that that would be the game to force people to be like, yeah, I'm getting a Stadia. I'm playing Half-Life.
Yeah, to be honest.
Do you think Valve would do that?
No, because they have their own VR,
Yeah,
so they wouldn't even need to go to Stadia.
they have their own thing already.
Right.
Plus, I mean, Steam runs like every
Yeah.
game or
Steam runs like everyone's games.
every games.
It's hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't see them actually trying. I mean, it would take Google reaching to Valve to say.
Well,
Yeah,
then maybe
please.
they still get to run with Steam's operating system and like launcher, but they buy out any other exclusive rights. Like you can't put like, don't let this go on Xbox, don't let this go on Sony, don't let this go anywhere else but your launcher and stuff, and then us Stadia, because yeah, they might have their VR and stuff, but that all works with the PC. Okay, Steam already learned their lesson. They had the Steam box, and that died
Right.
horribly.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Steam box.
Yeah, a lot of people forgot about the Steam box.
So Stadia is just the Steam Box 2.0
Right.
under Google's name, and
That's a good point. I like that.
I think that, if they had any chance to survive, they would need a game like Half-Life 3 to come out and like basically monopolize it to just them and Steam's.
I don't think they would
shit.
do it. I think they would eventually have to, like, have a time period, and then hopefully release it on other things.
Well,
But
of course they would want that, but they would have to put in big money. And the one thing, Google has a lot of money, so Google could be like, "What's your price? What's your price, man?
Yeah.
What's your price?"
Name your price.
right, they do have a lot of money.
They definitely could buy their way in.
Right.
That's just one little theory I thought of, because that is a big game that could sway people. Like if you were something like a console coming out, you would want to scoop that title up. Like, ooh, I want some exclusive rights to
Whoa.
this shit.
Everybody in here has played the Half-Life games. Fantastic games, fun, good storyline, good art.
I absolutely loved that game. I remember going back and playing it over and over again.
Half-Life 1,
But I
Half-Life
couldn't even
2.
tell what I was doing. I was young enough to not even know what I was doing. I was playing the shit out of that game. And then I started to learn what I was supposed to do, and then I started to figure
Get
out on my
better.
own. Started to figure out on my own. That was the very first game that I started to figure out, like, on my own how.
What the mechanics?
Right,
of
like how to
everything
explore a game that you don't really. That doesn't really tell you what you're supposed to do. Right?
Yeah, they just give you the map, and
Well,
then
they're like,
some enemies in
there
it,
you
and
go.
they're like, "Here you go, finally figure it out."
you'll figure out. It's pretty intuitive too. Like that's the whole part of like their game design was how beautiful it was, because it was intuitive to you to what, like, after a second you'd be like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do here.
Yeah,
because
obviously.
you see, it was clear visual indicators,
Right,
you know,
right.
things like that. And
Things
then,
that would draw you to your vision, and that would
just
lead you to
simple
places.
simple things. It's almost like it's stuff that you would see in games nowadays.